Hey y'all, I'm Carrie.
Hey y'all, I'm Mandy.
And this is Monstrous. This episode contains topics and language that may not be suitable for all listeners, and topics that may be triggering to some. Listener discretion is advised. All right, third episode for today.
We're on it today.
I know. We're doing good.
I know. Let's not jinx it.
Right? Okay, so this one, I don't think we have any business to attend to. I think we're good on that.
Mm-hmm.
So, are you ready to dive in?
Let's do this one.
All right. Okay. Guys, grab your blankets, your holy water, and your sage, because this one is going to give you some chills and you might need some protecting. Our story today is going to make you question the toys that reside in your home. We're diving into the world of objects that should be harmless, yet are anything but. Dolls that watch. Toys that move on their own. Items that carry energy so dark, so persistent, that even decades later, they leave their mark on the living. You might think of dolls as comforting companions from childhood, soft, cheerful, and innocent. But some dolls hide a different story. Behind their stitched smiles and glassy eyes can lurk something malevolent. Something that doesn't just sit quietly on a shelf. Something that watches, waits, and manipulates the world around it. Our journey begins with perhaps the most infamous haunted doll of modern history, Annabelle. A Raggedy Ann doll with red yarn hair and an innocent smile, whose very presence terrified a young woman, her roommate, and her friend in ways that defied explanation. From strange movements to cryptic messages and even physical attacks, Annabelle's story escalated to involve one of the most famous paranormal investigative teams in history, Ed and Lorraine Warren. But Annabelle is not alone in her eerie infamy. Across the world, other dolls have developed their own legends, dolls that seem to hold a consciousness of their own. In today's episode, we are also going to explore Robert the doll in Key West, Florida, whose mischievous, sometimes violent behavior has made him one of the most well-known haunted dolls in the world. We'll look into Okiku, the Ikamatsu doll in Japan, whose hair grows as if it's alive. We'll examine the stories of Mandy in Canada, Billy in Australia, and the haunted Hinu dolls of Japan, and the infamous island of dolls in Mexico. From there, we'll meet Pupa and Let Me Out, lesser known, but no less chilling figures in the haunted doll world. Along the way, we'll delve into the psychological reasons why dolls can feel so unsettling, and why certain objects seem capable of channeling energies beyond human comprehension. From legends to first-hand accounts, from eerie encounters to terrifying mistakes, today's episode will take you deep into a world where innocence masks danger and curiosity can come with real consequences. Humans are wired to detect faces and assign intention to what looks human. Dolls occupy that in-between space. They're almost alive, yet they're not. This ambiguity triggers deep subconscious unease. Tragedy often attaches to these dolls. A lost child, a death, or a lonely soul can project energy onto an object, giving it life in ways the living might not comprehend. Across cultures, dolls serve as more than just toys. They are protective talismans, memorials, or even vessels for spirits. When treated with disrespect, these objects are believed to respond, sometimes subtly, sometimes violently. Even skeptics can feel the effects: anxiety, nausea, chills, or even a sense of being watched. Our minds recognize the intention in the inanimate, whether it exists or not, creating a shared experience of dread. So dim the lights, settle in, and prepare to meet the dolls and objects that continue to haunt history and maybe even your imagination. This episode is Dolls of Dread World Tour.
I'm so excited.
So, like I said, we begin with Annabelle. Her story begins in the 1970s when a young nursing student named Donna received a Raggedy Ann doll as a gift from her mother. At first, it was just an innocent, quirky decoration for her apartment, which she shared with her roommate, Angie. But it wasn't long before the doll began to reveal its sinister nature. At first, the movements were subtle. Donna would leave Annabelle on her bed only to return to find her arm or her leg in a different position. Soon, though, Annabelle began appearing in entirely different rooms, despite the apartment doors being locked. Notes written on parchment paper that neither Donna nor Angie owned began to appear, with phrases like "help me" and "help Lou." Lou was Angie's boyfriend. He was one of the first to feel directly threatened by the doll. Lou often expressed unease around Annabelle, warning Donna and Angie that something was wrong. And his instincts proved to be right when he awoke one night, paralyzed, to find the doll at his feet. The doll climbed onto his chest, hands at his throat as he struggled to breathe. When he finally awoke fully, claw-like scratches appeared on his chest, deep, hot, and bleeding, yet they were gone within 2 days. It was as though the wounds defied natural healing. Desperate for answers, Donna and Angie consulted a medium. The medium claimed the doll was inhabited by the spirit of a young girl named Annabelle Higgins, who had died tragically on the property years before. Supposedly, the spirit only wanted to be loved, and Donna, with her compassionate nature, allowed the doll to stay. But the phenomena escalated, and what seemed childlike quickly turned malevolent. Fearing for their safety, Donna and Angie eventually reached out to Ed and Lorraine Warren, renowned paranormal investigators. The Warrens immediately recognized that the presence attached to Annabelle was not a child's spirit, but instead a demonic entity using deception to manipulate the women. During their investigation, the Warrens conducted prayers, blessings, and researched the doll's history. They concluded that the spirit's ultimate goal was possession, not of the doll, but of Donna herself. The Warrens removed Annabelle from the apartment and placed her in their occult museum, securing her inside a specially constructed glass case inscribed with the Lord's Prayer and St. Michael's protection. Even in containment, though, her presence had persisted. Museum staff and visitors have reported cold spots, shadowy figures, and feelings of dread when near her case. In one infamous story, a young man mocked the doll, banging on the glass, only to die in a motorcycle accident hours later.
That's what you get, dumbass. Fuck.
Your face was just great.
That shit pissed me off, and I ain't even Annabelle. Fuck.
Oh, God, sorry. Okay. Annabelle's legacy endures not only through the Warrens' accounts, but also through pop culture. She inspired the Conjuring films and her own spin-off franchise, though the real Annabelle looks nothing like the porcelain face doll of Hollywood. Still, her story has become a cultural touchstone, reminding investigators and the public alike that appearances can be deceiving. Innocence can mask danger. And even something as harmless as a child's toy can harbor darkness beyond comprehension. While Annabelle manipulates and deceives, Robert punishes the careless and the skeptical. Both of these dolls remind us that dolls are not mere objects, but mirrors of human fear and attention. And if Annabelle is America's most famous haunted doll, Robert holds that crown in Florida. His story dates back to the early 1900s in Key West, when he was given to a young boy named Robert Eugene Otto, also known as Gene. Robert was handmade by the Steiff Company, the same German toy maker that created the first teddy bears. He was dressed in a sailor suit and quickly became Gene's constant companion. Neighbors recalled seeing Robert move from window to window when Gene was not at home. Gene's parents often heard him talking to Robert, and a distinctively different voice responding back. Objects would be found overturned or broken, and Gene would insist that Robert did it. What started as childhood imagination soon turned into something much darker. As Gene grew, Robert remained in his life. Guests reported hearing giggles in empty rooms, footsteps in the attic, and Robert's expression seemed to shift when looked at directly. After Gene's death, the doll was eventually donated to the Fort East Martello Museum, where his presence only intensified. Today, Robert sits behind glass, but his reputation precedes him. Visitors who mock him or fail to ask his permission before taking a photo often claim to suffer misfortunes afterwards, including accidents, illnesses, or streaks of bad luck. The museum receives hundreds of letters each year, apologies written to Robert by people who believed that they had offended him. Some include offerings like candy or money, hoping to appease the mischievous spirit within. Staff have their own chilling tales. Cameras malfunction in Robert's presence, and many swear they've heard tapping on the glass or have caught his eyes following them as they move through the room. Others have reported strange laughter when the museum is quiet. His sailor suit and toy dog companion only enhance his eerie aura, as if he is forever frozen in childhood, yet alive with an unpredictable temper. Robert's notoriety has spread worldwide. He has been featured in documentaries, television shows, and countless articles. Paranormal investigators often cite him as one of the strongest cases of a haunted object with an observable impact on both its environment and the people who encounter it. So while Annabelle represents deception and danger, Robert embodies unpredictability and punishment. His legend is a cautionary tale. Show respect or face the consequences. It's not just a story of one boy and his doll. It's a continuing phenomenon, one that keeps Robert firmly seated as one of the most infamous haunted dolls in the world. Robert's mischief is public and dramatic, yet Mandy's haunting is quieter and intimate, creeping into dreams and daily routines. Different methods, same unsettling effects. Mandy's story begins in Quesnel, British Columbia, where she came into the possession of the Quenzel and District Museum. Unlike Annabelle or Robert, Mandy's presence doesn't carry the same widespread notoriety. But those who have encountered her will tell you that she is every bit as unsettling. Perhaps more so because of how intimately her haunting manifests. Her origins are somewhat mysterious. According to one account, Mandy was donated to the museum by a woman who no longer wanted her, claiming that the doll cried at night when left in her home. This ambiguity, whether Mandy is harboring a restless childlike spirit or simply amplifying fears projected onto her, only deepens the intrigue surrounding her. Visitors and staff alike report that Mandy seems to disrupt the ordinary flow of life. Strange occurrences surround her. Footsteps echo in empty hallways. Soft crying has been heard when no one is around, and objects vanish only to reappear in bizarre places. Museum staff have even documented locked doors mysteriously unlocking, lunchboxes going missing and then reappearing, and faint sounds of a baby crying near her display. Electronic devices sometimes flicker or fail in her proximity as though her energy interferes with the natural environment. Even pets have been noted to avoid her, growling or hissing at the door of the room where she is kept.
Damn.
Dreams are another unsettling facet of Mandy's haunting. Those who have spent time with her sometimes experience reoccurring nightmares. Dreams where Mandy silently watches from a dark corner or even appears mobile, whispering inaudible words.
That's creepy.
Right? These dreams are persistent, leaving people shaken long after they wake up. And they contribute to the sense that Mandy doesn't just occupy physical space, but intrudes upon the subconscious. No, thank you. Her porcelain face and cracked features only add to her unnerving presence. Historically, porcelain dolls symbolized elegance, fragility, and refinement. Yet with Mandy, those very qualities transform into something sinister. A single crack across her face makes her expression appear perpetually fractured, her glass eyes reflecting a lifeless stare. That fragile beauty juxtaposed with the powerful and lasting disturbances she causes. This all heightens her reputation as something more than just a doll. Public fascination with Mandy has only grown. She's been featured on paranormal programs such as Mysteries at the Museum, countless blogs, making her one of Canada's most recognizable haunted artifacts. Paranormal investigators often speculate about her nature. Some believe she's tied to the spirit of a young child, while others suggest she may be more of a conduit, amplifying paranormal energy that is already present. What makes Mandy distinct from Annabelle or Robert is her lack of containment. Annabelle is locked safely in a glass. Robert is managed in a museum behind glass, but Mandy's story is rooted in a domestic sphere. She once lived in the same place as her owners, sat on shelves where families gathered, and disrupted everyday routines. This proximity strips away the protective distance that other haunted dolls have. Mandy feels like the kind of doll that could be sitting in anyone's attic right now.
Holy shit.
Mandy represents the quiet hauntings, not the ones that make headlines or inspire blockbuster movies, but the subtle, insidious kind that seeps into dreams, daily habits, and private lives. She reminds us that the most terrifying haunted objects are not always the most famous. Sometimes it's the ones that sit quietly in the corner, waiting, watching, and affecting us in ways we don't fully understand. Across the world in Australia, another doll has earned a chilling reputation: Billy. Sometimes referred to as Australia's Annabelle.
Ooh.
His story begins in Brisbane, though the exact origins are pretty murky. Some say he was discovered abandoned in an attic and later given away. Others claim he was passed down through multiple families, with each reporting the same strange disturbances. The mystery of where he truly came from only fuels speculation about his power. Unlike Annabelle's deceptive spirit or Robert's mischievous punishments, Billy's presence is often described as oppressive, a lingering heaviness in the air that settles over a room anytime he is present. Owners have reported feelings of dread, the sense of being watched, and most disturbingly, vivid nightmares after being in close contact with him. Some claim these dreams are not random, but reoccurring, with Billy appearing as an active participant, sometimes moving, sometimes whispering, sometimes simply watching.
That's creepy.
Mm-hmm.
Billy is believed to have been handcrafted, which gives him a one-of-a-kind eeriness. His cracked face and chipped paint give him the appearance of being both fragile and ageless. While his faded clothing carries the weight of decades gone by, like Mandy, his outward fragility contrasts with the fear he inspires, making him a striking figure in haunted doll lore. One unsettling theme repeated in accounts of Billy is his effect on children. Parents have reported their kids speak to him as though he were alive, or waking from nightmares claiming the doll was in my room. Investigators suggest that may point to childlike or manipulative energy lingering within him, the essence of a relentless spirit trapped between worlds, or a darker presence mimicking innocence. Paranormal investigators in Queensland often cite Billy during their research and tours, making him something of a local icon in Australia's supernatural lore. He has been used as a case study in discussions of haunted objects, particularly in weighing psychological explanations against genuine paranormal activity. Investigators have reported unusual electronic disturbances, cameras refusing to focus, batteries draining rapidly, and EVP recordings that allegedly capture faint giggles, whispered, or even a childlike hello.
That's creepy.
Some psychics who have approached Billy claim he carries the spirit of a young boy who died tragically, while others insist his energy feels darker, something non-human. Witnesses also report unexplained movements. His head or arms sometimes shift when left alone, though never clearly caught on camera. When displayed publicly in exhibits, museum staff and visitors have experienced fainting, sudden nausea, or an instinctive refusal to approach him. Adding to his eerie impact of his name, unlike Annabelle and Robert, which carry a formal personal weight, Billy feels almost ordinary, boyish, friendly, and familiar. That contrast between such a harmless sounding name and the fear he inspires deepens his unsettling presence. Billy is a unique mixture of Australian paranormal lore, because the country has fewer haunted doll legends than North America or Japan. His presence looms large locally. Though he lacks the Hollywood fame of Annabelle or the tourist pull of Robert, Billy represents a uniquely Australian haunting, one that blends local culture with the universal fear of dolls as vessels for the unknown. So while Billy's presence creates a tangible sense of dread in homes and museums across the world, Japanese dolls carry an equally powerful but a culturally distinct weight. In Japan, dolls are not merely objects. They are vessels for memory, ritual, and sometimes spirits that demand reverence. So let's step into that world and meet the henna dolls. So from Australia to Japan, the presence of dolls takes on cultural inflections. Billy instills dread, while the henna dolls demand respect, subtly reminding us that neglect can awaken spirits that are long dormant. Japan has a long history of dolls, many of which are treated with care, respect, and even ritual. Among these are henna dolls, intricately crafted figures traditionally displayed during Hinamatsuri, the doll festival, which is kind of creepy, honestly.
I don't think I'd go that.
No, me neither. I'm good. No, thank you. So this festival represents the health and happiness of young girls. And I guess dolls represent that. Yet some henna dolls carry a darker reputation, not merely decorative, but vessels for restless spirits. So in Japanese folklore, it is believed that dolls can absorb energy, both positive and negative. Abandoned dolls, or those not properly cared for, become tsukumogami. I think that's how you say that. Objects that gain consciousness. And in some cases, malevolent intent after reaching 100 years of age. So they're good till they hit 100 years.
Then they fuck up.
Then they're like, oh, now I'm malevolent. So haunted henna dolls are often cited as examples of this. Dolls left in attics, hidden away after festivals, or neglected over time, only to manifest strange occurrences for their owners. Many of these dolls are over 200 years old and are made with delicate materials like silk, porcelain, and some even human hair. Yeah, it's fucking weird to me.
It's crazy.
Their lifelike eyes, intricate expressions, and traditional clothing create a heightened sense of realism, which can amplify the uncanny valley effect, making the dolls psychologically unsettling even without any kind of paranormal activity. Reports of haunted henna dolls include inexplicable movements, giggling or crying sounds when no one is near, and objects falling around them without cause. Families who inherit these dolls sometimes experience persistent nightmares, feeling a gaze following them from every shelf where the dolls are displayed. Some dolls have been said to change expressions subtly, tilting their heads or blinking when unobserved.
Oh, shit.
That'd be creepy as
Yeah,
fuck.
I'm good.
You walk into a room and see your doll blink. Several specific cases illustrate their chilling potential. In Osaka, a henna doll reportedly caused a child to fall ill repeatedly until the family relocated it to a shrine. In Hokkaido, a series of dolls left in an attic allegedly caused persistent nightmares and sudden cold spots, prompting a priest to perform purification rites. You know it's serious when they bring in a priest.
Hell yeah.
So these rituals, known as ohari, are traditional Shinto or Buddhist ceremonies designed to cleanse object of lingering spirits or negative energy. Families sometimes wrap neglected dolls in white cloth and pray for the spirit to move on, emphasizing the importance of respect and ritual in Japanese culture. At the end of the festival, dolls are traditionally stored carefully or disposed of with rituals. Ignoring these customs is said to risk the doll becoming restless. Stories suggest that dolls left outdoors or thrown away improperly have been found, again in attics or new households, seemingly returning of their own accord.
I'm good.
In addition to physical and ritualistic interactions, many accounts describe subtle changes in the dolls themselves. Heads may tilt, arms shift, or hair brush against surfaces, often in response to perceived disrespect, such as being dropped or mocked. So, guys, don't drop your dolls, okay? Museum curators in Japan report visitors feeling sudden chills near henna doll displays or experiencing headaches after extended viewing. Some families claim that the dolls whisper warnings in their dreams, asking to be treated properly or expressing sadness if they're ignored. Henna dolls also share thematic links with other famous Japanese haunted dolls, like Okiku. Both represent vigilance, subtle menace, and the consequence of neglecting spiritual or cultural responsibilities. Whether through their hair growth, movement, or the perception of being watched, these dolls embody a universal concept that in Japan, dolls are more than inanimate toys. They are vessels for energy, memory, and sometimes the restless dead.
Mm.
Through these stories, haunted henna dolls remind us that the seemingly innocent can harbor unease. Unlike Western dolls, such as Annabelle or Robert, which may display overt malevolence, henna dolls' haunting is subtle, psychological, and deeply tied to cultural ritual. Their threat is based on neglect or disrespect rather than active aggression. The combination of cultural belief, age, and highly realistic craftsmanship creates a strong psychological impression. Even those who don't believe in spirits often feel uneasy or watched when near these dolls. Henna dolls demonstrate that the most unsettling hauntings are sometimes quiet, subtle, and bound to tradition, yet no less real for those who encounter them. From the meticulous rituals of Japan, where dolls can become guardians or restless spirits, we travel to a place where dolls are both memorials and an overwhelming presence: the island of the dolls in Mexico. Here, the haunting is not subtle, it is everywhere. Deep in the canals of Oxcamilo, I know I'm saying that wrong, just south of Mexico City lies a small island covered in dolls. Thousands of them suspended from trees, hanging from roofs, and lined up along the pathways.
What the hell?
Yep, just normal.
I guess.
This is La Isla de las Municas. I think is how you say that last word. I feel like I said that last one wrong. Or the Island of the Dolls, a place that has become infamous for its eerie atmosphere and reported paranormal activity. The story begins with a man named Don Julian Santana Barria. I might be saying that wrong. Who discovered the island in the mid-20th century. According to local legend, he found the body of a young girl who had drowned nearby. Soon after, he began collecting discarded dolls and hanging them around the island to appease her spirit. Over decades, this collection grew into the thousands, creating an environment that is simultaneously fascinating and profoundly unsettling. Could you fucking imagine?
No, I'm good.
Going up in your fucking boat and you see an island with just dolls hanging from trees?
Yeah, no.
No, thank you. Ugh. Visitors to the island report dolls with missing eyes, cracked faces, decaying clothing, and limbs missing or out of place. Many claim to feel the doll's presence keenly, experiencing sudden chills, whispers, or the sensation of being followed. Some even report seeing the dolls move slightly when no one is looking. Those skeptics attribute this to wind or optical illusions. Cameras frequently malfunction or produce distorted images, and some visitors swear that the doll's eyes seem to follow them in photos.
Mm.
The island's eerie reputation is reinforced by the story of Don Julian himself, who lived alone there for decades and reportedly spoke to the dolls as if they were alive, warning them of bad weather or scolding them when they were naughty. I'm not going to lie, I find that adorable.
Right.
Like, bad.
Bad doll, bad. You're in timeout.
It's adorable. I love that. When he mysteriously died in 2001, the dolls were left behind, hanging silently in the trees, maintaining their strange vigil over the island. Tour guides and visitors continue to report bizarre phenomena: sudden pressure on their shoulders, strange noises, and occasional minor injuries from objects moving unexpectedly. Some dolls were given names by Don Julian or even later visitors, believed to carry personality or specific energies. So certain dolls are considered more active or restless, and visitors are warned not to touch them. Some report that when touched, the doll's heads tilt, arms shift, or fabric brushes against their skin as if resisting to be handled. Environmental factors like heavy rain, strong winds, or extreme heat sometimes coincide with reports of the doll shifting or appearing to have new damage. Nighttime visits are especially unnerving. Footsteps, whispers, faint cries, giggles, or the rustling of fabric are commonly reported even when the island is empty. Photographs often capture the strange shadows or faces, sometimes visible only in the image, adding to the island's mystique. Fog, mist, and the sound of water lapping at the canals combine with the doll's presence to create a disorienting, otherworldly environment, with shadows casting eerie shapes that appear to move independently. Locals offer a different perspective. Many believe the dolls serve as guardians, protecting the island from evil spirits. Some families perform annual offerings to honor the drowned girl's spirit, keeping the tradition alive and reinforcing the spiritual energy of the place. Some also interpret dolls falling from trees or sustaining natural damage as signs that the spirit is attempting to communicate, warn, or express dissatisfaction. The island is said to breathe. The collective presence of thousands of dolls creates a palpable heaviness, a psychological and emotional weight that visitors immediately notice. Psychologically, the island taps into deep-seated fears. The sheer number of dolls, their decayed and grotesque state, and their constant, unblinking presence overwhelm the senses. The story of Don and his devotion to appeasing the spirit of the drowned girl adds a human layer to the haunting, combining obsession, grief, and ritual with the dolls themselves. The dolls function both as memorials of the drowned girl and as symbolic reminders of lost childhood innocence. The Island of the Dolls has become a cultural icon, attracting tourists, paranormal investigators, and curious travelers from around the world. It serves as a potent reminder of humanity's fascination with death, spirits, and the eerie power of dolls. Unlike one single doll with a distinct personality or spirit, the island represents a collective haunting. Thousands of objects together, creating an atmosphere thick with the uncanny. It is a haunting born not just of supernatural legend, but of human devotion, loss, and obsession. A chilling testament to the power of dolls as vessels of memory, emotion, and lingering energy. The island has inspired horror films, documentaries, and paranormal television shows, which both document and amplify its eerie reputation, cementing it as one of the most unsettling doll-related locations in the world. So while the Island of the Dolls is a haunting born of decades in devotion, haunted dolls are not only relics of the past. In modern times, new legends emerge, reminding us that the uncanny can strike even in contemporary homes. One such example comes from France. Let Me Out. Sounds like some shit Super Mario would say. In recent years, a new legend has emerged from France, centered on a doll known as Let Me Out. Unlike the aged or folkloric dolls of Japan, Australia, or Mexico, Let Me Out is a modern creation. Yet its story has sparked intense fear and fascination among collectors and paranormal enthusiasts. The doll first came to attention when a French family acquired it from an estate sale. Almost immediately, they reported unsettling occurrences, doors slamming, objects moving without explanation, and feelings of being watched. Unlike other haunted dolls whose activity is subtle or ritualistic, Let Me Out was described as actively malevolent, seeming to retaliate when ignored or mistreated. Objects were reportedly thrown across rooms when the family ignored or insulted the doll, and small scratches would sometimes appear on furniture near it.
Oh, damn.
Nighttime disturbances became a regular occurrence. Doors would slam, footsteps echoed through empty rooms, whispers sounded like a child speaking, and electronical device flickered or malfunctioned unexpectedly. Cameras and smartphones occasionally captured unexplained shadows or images of the doll in positions that it was not previously in, feeding the family's growing terror. The doll's appearance adds to its unsettling presence. Letting Me Out reportedly has a lifelike gaze that seems to track people across the room. Owners observe small changes in posture or facial expressions, suggesting responsiveness. The doll seemed aware of attention, and in some cases, reacted when ignored, handled roughly, or if it was moved. Some owners have even noticed that its mood fluctuated. It's calmer when it's being treated with respect, and it's more active or aggressive when it's provoked or ignored. Small objects sometimes align themselves in patterns on shelves or floors, interpreted as intentional arrangements by the doll. Family members reported feeling invisible hands pressing on their shoulders or tugging at blankets while they were sleeping. Pets reacted nervously, barking, hissing, or avoiding the room entirely. Visitors who entered without prior knowledge of the doll's history often left panicked, citing overwhelming unease. Headaches, nausea, sudden cold sensations, and vivid nightmares were common among household members, some of which seemed to convey warnings or messages from the doll itself. A local psychic investigated the doll and reported a trapped, malevolent energy within it. Traditional cleansing rituals or protective charms often produced only temporary relief. Moving the doll to different locations rarely ended the phenomena. EMF detectors sometimes spiked near the doll, and spirit boxes or audio recorders occasionally captured unintelligible whispers or childlike voices when it was present.
That's creepy.
Modern media has amplified Let Me Out's legend. Viral videos, social media challenges, and online forums document encounters with this doll, creating a global audience for its haunting. People who interact with or attempt to purchase the doll online often report immediate feelings of dread or anxiety, suggesting the fear it invokes spreads beyond direct contact. Psychologically, Letting Me Out taps into universal fears: the uncanny, the unknown, and the malevolent hidden within the familiar. Its modernity makes it particularly unnerving, appearing in contemporary homes, bedrooms, and online spaces where people assume safety. Fear is amplified by social media and the rapid spread of firsthand accounts, creating a collective dread that enhances each encounter. Letting Me Out represents a modern manifestation of the haunted doll phenomenon. It combines classic elements, restless spirit, malevolent behavior, psychological impact, with the immediacy of the digital age, ensuring that its story spreads quickly and resonates with audiences worldwide. In the pantheon of haunted dolls, Letting Me Out occupies a unique place, a contemporary icon of fear, bridging folklore, technology, and human curiosity all together. So from France, we move to Italy, where another modern doll continues the tradition of haunting, the pupa.
That's a weird name.
Like Letting Me Out, it demonstrates that even recently created dolls can carry powerful, reactive energies, blurring the line between folklore and present-day terror. France's modern Letting Me Out shows that haunted dolls are not just relics. They appear in contemporary homes, too. Italy's pupa echoes this, blending emotional I can see your face. I gotta do this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna get through it. I'm not gonna get through it because I can see your face. Okay. Blending emotional reactivity with classic ghostly influence. In Italy, the doll known as pupa has become infamous for its chilling presence and unsettling behavior. Pupa translates to doll or baby in Italian. And this particular doll is said to harbor a spirit that reacts strongly to attention and emotion. Unlike many haunted dolls with long historical backgrounds, Pupa's activity was first reported in the late 20th century, making it a relatively recent addition to the world of haunted dolls. Pupa was originally owned by a family in northern Italy. Almost immediately after acquiring the doll, they noticed unusual occurrences. Objects would move, cold spots would appear in certain rooms, and unexplained sounds like whispers or soft laughter echoed through the house. Family members reported that the doll seemed to watch their every move, often appearing in different positions than it had been left in, even when the room was locked and empty. Over time, the activity escalated. Pupa reportedly reacted to emotional states, becoming restless during arguments or periods of anger and appearing calmer when family members treated it with care or respect. Objects in the room would sometimes shift mysteriously, aligning in patterns that suggested intentionally, almost as if the doll was communicating through some subtle signs. Nighttime phenomena included whispers, soft laughter, footsteps in empty rooms, and invisible hands pressing on the bed or shoulders. Some family members experienced vivid dreams that seemed to convey messages or warnings from the doll. Specific incidences were reported over the years: doors slamming, lights flickering, objects thrown across rooms when the doll was ignored or mishandled, and sudden cold drafts were near its presence. Pets reacted nervously, barking or avoiding the room entirely, reinforcing the unnerving atmosphere. Some visitors unaware of the doll's history reported immediate dread, nausea, or panic upon entering the home. Pupa's environmental effects were notable. Sudden drops in temperature, sometimes causing condensation on windows or glass surfaces, and electrical disturbances, including flickering lights, malfunctioning TVs, or radios producing static, all seemingly linked to the doll's presence. Physically, small scratches or marks would occasionally appear on Pupa's clothing or face, and the doll's eyes sometimes seemed glossier or more lifelike, intensifying the sensation that it was watching. Psychics and paranormal investigators described Pupa as strongly attached and aware, capable of influencing both people and objects in subtle yet undeniable ways. Protective rituals, prayers, and cleansing attempts often provided only temporary relief, with the doll quickly resuming its activity. EMF detectors, spirit boxes, and audio recorders occasionally captured anomalies or unintelligible whispers near the doll. Activity often heightened when multiple people were in the home or when emotions ran high, suggesting a sensitivity to collective energy. Pupa's legend has spread throughout Italy and online, fueled by firsthand accounts, media reports, and social media discussions. Videos and photos show the doll in new positions or with altered expressions circulate widely. This has created global awareness of its eerie reputation. Unlike dolls tied to ancient folklore, Pupa represents a modern haunting that resonates with contemporary fears, malevolent entities inhabiting ordinary homes. The invasion of safe spaces and the unsettling presence of everyday objects behaving unpredictably. Psychologically, Pupa taps into universal fears: the uncanny valley effect, human projection of intention, and anxiety when objects behave outside natural law. Its emotional reactivity, appearing aware of human feelings, creates a dynamic and deeply personal haunting, making interactions intensely unsettling. Today, Pupa remains a subject of fascination for paranormal investigators, doll enthusiasts, and anyone intrigued by the power of haunted objects. Its story highlights the enduring ability of dolls to provoke fear, curiosity, and respect across cultures, standing alongside legends like Annabelle, Robert, and Let Me Out as a modern icon of the uncanny. Although these individual dolls, Annabelle, Robert, Let Me Out, and Pupa, have all gained international fame, the phenomenon of haunted dolls is far from confined to just a few stories. Across continents and cultures, dolls have long been vessels for spirits, misfortune, and the uncanny. While dolls like Annabelle, Robert, Let Me Out, and Pupa have all captured worldwide attention, haunted dolls exist in nearly every culture, each with its own unique story, history, and terrifying accounts. These dolls often reflect local beliefs about spirits, protection, the uncanny, and illustrate the universality of human fear. In parts of Europe, haunted dolls are often linked to folklore and superstition. In Germany, some dolls are said to carry the spirits of deceased children. While in Eastern Europe, dolls are sometimes used in rituals to ward off evil or curse individuals. So, voodoo dolls.
Voodoo dolls.
Stories often involve dolls moving on their own, changing facial expressions, or appearing unexpectedly after being left unattended for years. Notable examples include Lottie in England, a Victorian-era doll reported to move on its own and leave handprints on windows, and Amelia in Poland, a wooden doll that reportedly changes posture overnight and leaves mysterious marks on surfaces. Antique porcelain dolls in France collections have been reported to cry, blink, or move when not being observed. Visitors of these dolls' rooms often experience whispers, cold spots, and the unmistakable feeling of being watched. In Scandinavia, certain dolls in Norway and Sweden were historically used in protection rituals or to house ancestral spirits. These dolls have been reported to move or emit chilling noises during storms. Beyond Japan's Okiku and the henna dolls, several other Asian cultures report haunted or cursed dolls. In Thailand, small dolls are occasionally believed to house protective spirits, but when disrespected, they become malevolent. Japanese dolls, such as Momo-like dolls and Kokishi dolls, have been reported to change expressions overnight or move subtly, unnerving their collectors. Tama dolls are believed to contain the spirits of the deceased, sometimes producing faint voices or moving slightly at night. In India, certain dolls are associated with local deities or spirits and are meant to protect children or households. But when disturbed, families report unusual noises, shifting objects, or a constant feeling of being watched. Antique Chinese dolls in temples or homes have reportedly changed positions or expressions overnight, often producing a palpable sense of presence among visitors. Dolls in Asia often follow their owners. They appear in unexpected places or react to emotional tension, reinforcing the belief that they are sensitive to human energy. In various African cultures, dolls are often created as talismans or spiritual tools intended to protect or influence. However, when they are misused or mishandled, these dolls are believed to carry curses, causing illness, misfortune, or accidents. Reports include dolls being found in new locations, objects being disturbed, or strange sensations surrounding their presence. Dolls in these contexts highlight the cultural significance of respecting spiritual tools and objects imbued with intention. Haunted dolls also appear in multiple South American countries, often tied to legends of lost children or tragic events. Some dolls are said to cry, move, or react to the presence of strangers.
Oh, wow.
In Brazil and Argentina, reports include sudden temperature drops, mysterious shadows, and inexplicable disturbances in homes and shops. Modern dolls inspired by media reminiscent of Chucky have also developed reputations for strange behavior, blurring the line between fiction and folklore. La Llorona-inspired dolls in Mexico are reported to cry at night, causing distress to those nearby, connecting the haunted doll phenomena to enduring local legends. Haunted dolls in Middle Eastern cultures often appear in private collections or historical homes and are sometimes considered vessels for spirits or omens, producing faint sounds, movements, or feelings of being watched. In the Philippines, dolls used in folk rituals for protection or guidance may become malevolent if mishandled, reflecting the dual nature of these objects as protective yet potentially dangerous. In Russia, dolls like Alexa, a mid-20th century toy, are said to emit eerie laughter, follow people with their gaze, and appear in different rooms without physically being moved. Across the globe, these examples show how both historic and modern dolls can develop reputations for paranormal activity, reinforcing shared fears and fascination. Dolls created in the last 50 years, often inspired by horror films and media, have developed haunted reputations online and in paranormal circles. The newest one being the Labubu.
I want a Labubu so bad.
Daxton wants one so bad, dude.
I do too, but I can't. I'll just get a knockoff because I'm not paying that much for it.
That's what I'm saying. I'm not about to spend $50 on some stupid stuffed keychain. I'm not about to do that.
No,
Yeah.
I really want one.
$50.
Yes.
And it's
What,
about
keychain?
it's about this big
Yeah.
on a keychain.
They're kind of cute, but they're kind of creepy at the same time.
I think they're still.
They're kind of like voodoo dolls.
Yeah.
They're cute, but they're creepy. I'm not about to spend $50 on a fucking Labubu. Sorry. He don't need no damn Labubu that bad.
No.
It sounds like you're saying LaFubu when you say it. Okay, anyway, sorry guys. Okay. These modern dolls sometimes display interactive phenomena, moving, knocking, or making noises in response to human activity. Mandy? Yeah, it's those.
I want one.
Get one here.
They're cute, but they're kind of creepy at the same time.
Yeah.
But I'm not spending that much money. Nope. And you don't know which one you're going to get. It's a mystery thing.
Yeah. You could keep getting the same one over and over.
Yep. So this demonstrates that the haunted doll phenomenon is not limited to antiques or traditional cultural dolls, but continues in contemporary society. Across all these regions, haunted dolls often exhibit similar behaviors, moving when unobserved, producing cold spots, making faint sounds, and reacting to human emotions.
They're so cute.
I know. Many are tied to tragedy or grief, either in the owner's life or in the doll's history, reinforcing beliefs in residual spirits. Some dolls appear to communicate through through moving objects, scratches, or subtle positioning, creating a sense of intent that unnerves the observer. So dolls often serve as protective tools, memorials, or ritual objects. In many cultures, they are believed to absorb energy or emotions, explaining heightened activity during periods of tension, grief, or emotional upheaval. Folklore frequently warns against disrespecting dolls, reflecting a universal understanding of their potential power. Stories of haunted dolls now spread faster than ever through social media, YouTube videos, and online forums, collecting local legends to a global audience. YouTube videos, online forums connecting local legends to a global audience. Viral content and shared experiences amplify legends, creating a modern digital folklore that blends contemporary culture with century-old beliefs. Across continents, haunted dolls tap into universal fears: the uncanny valley, projection of intention onto inanimate objects, and anxiety about objects behaving outside natural law. Encounters often trigger deep emotional reactions, nightmares, or heightened sensitivity, reinforcing the doll's perceived power. By examining these international dolls alongside legends like Annabelle, Robert, Let Me Out, and Pupa, it becomes clear that the allure and terror of haunted dolls transcend geography, culture, and time. These objects, innocent in appearance yet often unnervingly alive, highlight humanity's enduring fear of the unseen, the unknown, and the inexplicable. From North America to Asia, Europe to South America, these dolls share uncanny behaviors: watching, reacting, and occasionally punishing. It is a global language of fear. And so, we leave our haunted dolls behind, at least for now. Annabelle remains in her glass case at the Warrens Occult Museum, a silent yet potent reminder that even the most innocent-looking object can harbor malevolent intent. Her legend has endured, reaching into popular culture, inspiring films, books, and countless retellings, but the danger she represents is far from fictional. Robert the doll still sits in Key West, his painted eyes following visitors who dare to approach, a mischievous grin hinting at his unpredictable temperament. And across the globe, dolls like Mandy, Billy, Okiku, the haunted henna dolls, the island of the dolls, Let Me Out, Pupa, and countless international examples quietly maintain their eerie presence, proving that the fascination and fear of haunted dolls is universal. From museum displays to private collections, these objects share one thing in common. They are vessels for energies that we often don't understand, forces that blur the line between the living and the inanimate. The Warrens collection reminds us that it's not just dolls. Mirrors, clocks, paintings, and other everyday objects have been known to carry stories of danger, obsession, and paranormal activity. Each artifact challenges their perception of reality, and each reinforces a chilling lesson Appearances can be deceiving, and curiosity, if not tempered with respect, can come with a cost. Psychologically, it's easy to dismiss haunted dolls as superstition or imagination. Yet, the consistency of these reports and the depth of personal accounts and the patterns of unexplained phenomena suggest that our connection to these objects may tap into something much deeper. A human fear of the uncanny, the unknown, and the uncontrollable. Dolls with their almost human features become perfect vessels for this fear, a mirror to the parts of ourselves that we cannot fully comprehend or control. So whether it's Annabelle, Robert, Mandy, Billy, Okiku, the Henna dolls, the Island of the Dolls, Let Me Out, Poopa, or another haunted relic, the lesson is clear. Some curiosities are better left unexplored. Respect the warnings, heed the stories, and remember that not every shadow in the corner is harmless. The world of haunted objects is one where the line between reality and legend is thin, and sometimes it's a line that should not be crossed. So, tonight, as you dim your lights and settle into your space, imagine a small pair of glass eyes in the corner, watching, waiting, patient. Even if you don't believe in haunted dolls, your mind will fill the void left by uncertainty. That's where fear thrives. So next time you pass a toy sitting alone on a shelf, remember, curiosity can come with consequences, and sometimes what watches you isn't quite inanimate. That is our Dolls of Dread.
It's crazy how many other cultures has that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Because you don't hear about ours.
Right. Because ours are the most popular.
Well,
Because we got the crazy bitches.
Right.
Okay.
If you enjoyed today's episode, don't forget to subscribe, rate, leave us a review. This brings us new listeners, and it helps us bring you more stories like this. As always, our Facebook and email links are in the episode description, and we will be back with another tale of terror and fascination. And until then, remember to
Watch for monsters.
and don't kill people. Bye, y'all.
Bye, y'all.